All right. Welcome to tonight's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. As always, it's Paul.
It's Brandon.
All right. And as always, we are brought to you by RU Game, the best comic book, video game, magic, toy shop, and all of Piqua. Yeah, I say that, but...
Look, Dad, you know why you're the best, not just in Piqua, but all around? It's because you're not an asshole.
I can be an asshole, I'm not going to lie. But
yeah, but you're not a rich asshole.
No.
Nope.
I know
some
those...
people like assholes. Nobody likes a rich asshole.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, tonight's episode, we're going to talk about lost media. Stuff like maybe TV shows that aired once and then been lost to time. Video games that were nearly published and never released. Horror movies and stuff like that came out in the 80s, 70s, and 80s that maybe made it to VHS, maybe even Laserdisc, and then never again.
Stuff that's just flat out lost to time. Like, stuff that was just straight up never had a home release. So, it's stuff that's just trapped on recordings of that kids made of.
Then you get stuff like the a lot of the movies that were lost, the early silent movies. There's just dozens of Lon Chaney Sr.'s movies are lost.
There's like a lot of these companies just don't care. There's no money to be made in preservation.
There wasn't no money in it back then. You show a movie once and it was one and done. It was never supposed to be seen again. So basically they would show it once and then, okay, that's good, and moved on. Or movies that will never be seen in their original versions. Like one of my favorite movies is Bela Lugosi's Mark of the Vampire. Mark of the Vampire doesn't exist in its original form. It's the what we get now. At one time, the only way to get a copy of that movie was bootleg. And then somebody finally found it and released it over the years and stuff like that. But there's a whole point of the movie where Bela Lugosi's character has a bullet hole in the side of his head. Never explained in the entire movie. The fact that he's a vampire. And you find out it's a remake of London After Midnight, kinda. But the whole thing is that Bela Lugosi's character became a vampire because he had an incestuous relationship with his daughter, and they became vampires. In the original one, in the final version of that you can see today, that is never in the movie or shape or form because it's screwed up.
They were like, oh crap, we producers don't like that.
Or then what's nice is there's some movies that have been found and been released, like the Cabal cut of Nightbreed, that they found it, and if I remember right, they found it like legit, like in somebody's barn in Columbus, Ohio, and which is funny because it's every time there's a barn find for something weird, it's in Ohio.
It's just Ohio is just 90% barns and cornfields.
Yes. That's where they found the Bullet car from Bullet. It was in a barn in Columbus, Ohio, and that's not a exaggeration. That's where they legit found it. And
crap. I'm talking on by myself here.
Okay, no, I'm back.
There we go.
Sorry. Had to get up and give your mom the key real quick, but. Okay, legit. I want to talk about this because we touched on this a little bit last week, because I've been on a serious search for stuff that I did not know up until recently that Turbo Teen doesn't exist in its entirety. Like, no one has, as far as I know. I found 5 episodes. 3 in English, 1 in German, and 1 in Spanish, and that's all I've found so far.
Because no one was interested in picking that up for DVD release.
Yeah, but there's other TV series and stuff like that that have
you got all them cartoons that aired in your region. What about the cartoons that aired in other people's regions that just were never like how many cartoons out there are like lost? We don't know.
Okay,
because there were like hundreds.
When I was a kid, we got Voltron, Go Lion, Voltron, which was with the lions, and then we had the car robot Voltron, which was Voltron 3. Voltron, whatever. Mm-hmm. But there was a second Voltron. There was the 6-armed 3 robots that formed into one big robot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I remember seeing episodes of that on TV when I was visiting my aunt and uncle in San Diego when I was like 11. They were on the air out there. And to be honest, I couldn't tell you if they were subtitled or dubbed or whatever, but I remember seeing episodes. I know nobody that's seen it locally. When I was a kid, I went over and visited the same aunt and uncle, but they lived in, when I was a little bit older, they lived in Indianapolis. And in Indianapolis, they had Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers, which is a great cartoon, which I found later, but we did not get that here locally.
I think you talked about this last time.
Yeah, and that was another one. That was like I said with the, Robotech. But those are cartoons that we know, But then there's ones that like Turbo Teen and Turbo Teen was on ABC. The other one I've been trying to find, I found one episode of Meatballs and Spaghetti. Mm-hmm. That was on CBS, and so was Pandemonium, which so far I've found like 5 episodes. Mm-hmm. And I think there's only 13, so that's a pretty good chunk of 13, so it's not horrible.
I've recently learned about something that you'd probably like to hear about. Everybody remembers the Sailor Moon anime dub that we got.
Yeah.
But did you know that recent cells, old animation cells and concept art and all that has been uncovered, that there wasn't going to be a dub of the anime. There was just going to be a flat out, I think it was Deke. They were going to do just a flat out remake of Sailor Moon, and it was going to look like old school She-Ra, if I remember right.
That would be weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Looking at it is like looking into an alternate dimension.
Well, that's like, okay, when you were little, actually, I don't even know if you weren't even born yet. We got Dragon Ball Z early in the morning when I was getting ready for work. So this was like 5:36 in the morning.
It's probably running on Toonami.
It was running on Fox Kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it ran like the first story arc, and it had a completely different voice cast.
That's probably the Ocean dub.
Yeah, it was completely different, and I want to say that also was, but it was funny because no one believed me, and then I found little promotional toys, little tiny Gokus, maybe about the size of the end of your thumb, that have a little thing in there, and it's like, watch Dragon Ball Z mornings on Fox Kids. And I was like, well, see, this
weird stuff aired on Fox Kids. I'm pretty sure King of the Hill aired on Fox Kids at one point.
No, it didn't. Ronin Warriors did.
I was thinking of because there was some promotion where it was. I think it aired on. I think King of the Hill aired on Fox Kids very briefly, because there is a little promo, like a little ad promo that you can watch. You can probably find on YouTube, where the Silver Surfer from the 90s cartoon is hanging out and talking with Hank Hill.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I think it might have been on Fox Kids.
But, no, get back to the
Lost Media,
yeah.
Freaking.
Yeah, Fox Kids, King of the Hill, and the Silver Surfer, King of the Hill.
Yeah, we have Tina over there helping us on the computer, bringing up information for us.
A good place to look for on Lost Media is, I look up a lot of YouTube stuff on it. I've done deep dives on the Lost Media wiki.
See, I've been just tearing it apart, looking. I'm like, I'll look up like like Turbo Teen, and then I'll put like Saturday morning cartoon kid car, stuff like that. Put different things in, and I find stuff, and it's I'm finding an episode here and there. What is funny is that right now at the shop I've been rewatching the old werewolf television series from Fox from '87 to '88.
Ooh,
I love that show. Still love it to this day. The fact that Rick Baker was the one who helped design the werewolf makeup and stuff, the wolf costume.
That was the one that's like, it's essentially the Hulk TV show,
Yeah,
but with a werewolf man.
This guy, he's wanted for the murder of his friend. That his friend got turned into a werewolf, and then he had to kill his friend, but his friend turned him into a werewolf. So he has to go down and find the man who turned his friend into a werewolf because you got to kill the original bloodline. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there watching this. And I haven't watched it in, I don't know, about 10 years. Because literally the copies I have is a bootleg DVD. Not gonna lie, if there was a legal copy, I would own a legal copy. They announced it from like Warner Archives, I don't know, like close to 20 years ago, and it never got released. It was supposed to come out at the same time as Birds of Prey and the Witchblade on DVD, but never did.
Birds of Prey got on DVD. I know that.
Yeah, and
you have
Witchblade did too. But no, it doesn't exist. But what's great is that I forgot some of the people who appeared on this show. Mm-hmm. There's an episode with Morgan Shepherd, whose son, Morgan Shepherd Jr., I guess, is Crowley on Supernatural. And actually, they played the same guy on an episode of Doctor Who. He's in an episode. Tony Todd, Candyman, is a pimp in an episode of Werewolf. The late Sid Haig plays a homeless guy in an episode where they're traveling via train. In an episode, there's a bunch of people who
I can see why it only lasted a year.
It lasted one full season. It was expensive to make. The guy who plays Eric Court ends up being on one of your mom's soap operas back in the day. I think he was on it till the show ended.
Mom's just looking at you like,
yeah, she's like, no.
Talking about me.
He plays Mac on General Hospital. Yeah, but
just nods at you.
But Werewolf is one of them. Is legit one of them lost shows. I'm sitting there watching it, and people are going like, what the hell is this? I'm like, this was one of the first shows on Fox. This was 87, 88. There's legit commercials at the end of one of the episodes because they managed, whoever did the copies, managed to cut out almost all the commercials except for, I think, 2 commercial breaks in one episode. And there's a commercial for Married with Children, The Tracy Ullman Show, a show called Duet, which I forgot existed until I saw the commercial again. And I'm like, but it's great. But that's a lot. There's a lot of lost shows from those first few seasons of Fox. Because there's one I've been trying to find, because there's an episode I loved called The New Adventures of Beans Baxter. It's where this kid finds out his parents are secret agents, and he becomes a secret agent too. But there's an episode that was making fun of The Exorcist, and the guy who comes in to exorcise the demon, quote unquote demon, is Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. That show I don't think exists in anything. There was
someone better link you. Like
if somebody can find a link to this, bring it to me. I want to find some copies. I'm sure it's on YouTube. I gotta go back through and see if I can find it. But New Adventures of Beans Baxter. Then there was like Parker Lewis Can't Lose, which was a knockoff of Ferris Bueller, which then they made a Ferris Bueller TV series to be a knockoff of. But oh my god. But no, there's so many. Okay, back in the day, we lost almost a generation's worth of silent movies. And then we lost, some of the early talkie movies were lost because, like I said, no one cared, or they just weren't popular enough, and they were considered exploitation movies. A lot of them, and they were just like, okay, whatever.
Goodbye.
Technically, Nosferatu was like this close to being lost media, because Bram Stoker's widow did everything she could to get every copy of that destroyed because it was a total ripoff of Dracula. So we got lucky there. That one still exists.
Without that, we wouldn't have had one of the greatest SpongeBob gags of all time. Nosferatu.
Now we wouldn't have the TV show.
We wouldn't have the class in Vampire the Masquerade.
Yep, and we wouldn't have the Joe Hill TV show starring Zachary Quintos where it's Nosferatu, but it's the license plate, so it's all. But okay, legitimately, two of my favorite horror movies of all time are technically lost. They ended on Laserdisc. There's never been a legal release on DVD or Blu-ray, at least not in America, of Michael Mann's The Keep. And for some reason, there's a movie I love called Eyes of Fire, which it's
probably tied up and right somewhere.
I have no clue, but literally the only copy I found on DVD was a German release of it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's crazy. But yeah, I have a VHS copy of it, and I'm always looking for a Laserdisc because I still have a Laserdisc player because, yet again, old media, love it.
Now it's my turn to show off my knowledge.
Show your knowledge. What do you...
I know about all kinds of weird... have you heard about a lot of the big Nintendo leaks lately?
No.
They've been leaking a lot of old beta assets, unreleased stuff. Stuff that's there was originally, you know how Rare made Donkey Kong Country?
Mm-hmm.
There was plans at Nintendo to make a Super Mario World-esque Donkey Kong game.
That'd be pretty badass.
Some assets were leaked, apparently. There's this weird, and then there's real early versions of Super Mario World. A lot of the sprites, a beta Yoshi, that were leaked. And it's kind of interesting to see all this weird stuff. This these iconic designs before they were,
the finalized design.
Yeah.
The one that's depressing, lost media for video games, is 2 games, both from Star Wars.
Everybody knows this. 13
and Battlefront, the original Battlefront 3
by Free Radical.
Oh my god. I got to play a demo at a Comic-Con back in the day. You played one level of a Star Wars
the original
Battlefront 3, and I literally got to play as evil
Dark Side Obi-Wan.
It was crazy. It was Obi-Wan Kenobi with a big long bushy beard and a red lightsaber and tattered black robes.
It was cool. It was what-if stuff. Everybody loves what-if stuff.
Oh man, it was cool because they had it, and I've also seen saw the gameplay. I didn't get to play 13, but you got to see.
The thing that pisses me off the most about Battlefront 3 is that the game was 90% complete.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just killed. It was taken out back and given the executioner's blade.
I don't know why. It
would have made stupid money.
Well, that's because all the Battlefronts do great. Even the new Battlefronts that people claim they don't like still sell. So,
honestly, having played Battlefront 2, it takes up a stupid amount of space on my PS4, but it's a fun game, honestly.
Yeah. But
and it has split screen.
Yeah.
What game has no games have split screen nowadays?
Nope.
So it's immediately there's a reason to play that game.
That's because they want you to buy a whole other system.
Yeah. They want you to not only buy a whole nother system, they don't even do System Link anymore, like how they used to with Xbox and PS2 and all that. They want you to buy a whole new system. They want you to buy a whole new game. They want you to buy 2 freaking subscriptions.
Multiple subscriptions, and you need 2 TVs. So if you buy a Sony television, a PS4, 2 copies of the game, they're scoring big time. Oh my god! But
That's one of the reasons why I still like playing games like Halo. Hey, the biggest disappointment of Halo 5, no split screen.
yeah,
Joe and I tried to play split screen. We were like, this has no split screen? No! And then we just quit it, uninstalled the game, and just like, we're just like, you know what? This isn't Halo. We need to get it out of here.
I think the last Halo I played was I don't even know if I played Halo 4.
Halo 4, not great.
I played ODST and I played some Reach, but I did not play. I don't think I played any of the mainstream Halo since 3.
Well, Infinite's looking really good.
Uh,
It's looking like a kind of a blend of Halo and Metroid Prime, and I love both of those things.
That's a weird combination.
Well, it's like a Halo game, but it's like structured like, you know, in the kind of like open nature of a Metroid Prime kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's what it's looking like.
Okay.
A lot of people are saying that's like, oh, it's, you know, it's Far Cry Halo, and looking at the map and looking at what we're seeing, I'm not getting that vibe.
Hmm.
But back to Lost Media. On the
Yep.
subject of video games, one of the most disappointing and depressing stories about a lost video game is Prey 2. Have you ever heard of Prey 2, Dad?
Is that the one? Not the current generation. The one where Prey 1.
Prey 1 was about a cool Native American
Yeah,
guy
he gets
who had,
abducted
like,
by. Oh yeah,
abducted by
I like
aliens.
that game.
And Prey 2 was originally going to be a pseudo open world RPG where you play as a different character, but it's after that, you know, invasion of Earth, and it's
Mhm.
sort of expanding this universe. And it is a bounty hunter simulator, a space bounty hunter simulator, where you're chasing down space pirates and thugs. And the main character of the first Prey was going to play a role in the story. The game was almost done, almost complete. The thing is, ZeniMax, the guys who were publishing the game, attempted a hostile takeover of the company that was developing it.
Mm-hmm.
And they did this by just cutting funds to the game, just chopping them off, and then canceling the game. And in order to deprive them of profit, so that the devs would become desperate and sell themselves. And it is, every time I hear of it, I just get tense up. I get furious.
That's hilarious.
It's like, I want to strangle the suit that did this.
Oh man.
Who's the suit with the clipboard that did this? I want to get 5 minutes in there with the ring. In the ring. I got you for 3 minutes.
Man,
You're going nowhere.
See, you know that it's funny when you get, because you know there's so many of these games that get way into publication, and then or the ones that we don't get what they originally promised, even though we saw the original version. Was it Watch Dogs?
Wash hogs, yeah.
The one that the version of it that they originally showed us
Well, the thing is that
was vastly different than the final one.
well, thing about Watch Dogs, I think you're getting kind of your stories kind of mixed up. Watch Dogs, a lot of the original graphic settings that we saw on the E3 demo
Mhm.
are dummied out on the PC version, and you can just go into a text file and re-enable them. And I hear Wash Hogs 2 is a lot better, but Wash Hogs 1 is like,
Watch Dogs.
it's one of those hilariously bad kind of games, a lot like DMC the DMC, also known as the Devil May Cry reboot.
I think you're funny because you were talking about this earlier. Was it Devil May Cry 2 worse or better than DMC?
The DMC.
But here's the thing, though. I want to say the new one's got to be worse, just because the first one was on the PS2 and it isn't really.
Well, the thing about DMC 2 is that this is one of the funniest stories of all time. DMC 2 was made by a completely different team compared to Devil May Cry 1.
Mm-hmm.
This team had no idea what they were doing. A couple months in development, this guy comes in, and he's like, The original director has never been named to this day. The game was had to be taken over by a new director.
Mm-hmm.
And this new director came in and was like, "All right, guys, what you got? We have one move. How far are we in development? Good couple months, sir." In just barely a few months, that game had to be pushed out, and everybody calls it press square to win, because every encounter in the game can be solved by just mashing the guns button, and Dante just wins. And the game is just slog and is miserable, and it just sucks all around. Do not play Devil May Cry 2.
Oh.
DMC, the DMC is a high budget, it was, Ninja Theory's big thing, They were, all kinds of marketing went into it. Is there this big thing. Playing the game, there's clearly a lot of, there's a lot of time went into the cutscenes, a lot of time went into, making the game look good artistically.
Mm-hmm.
There's just one problem. The game's not fun to play. But it gets... I was playing the remastered version that has, it adds a lot of quality of life stuff, so I'm not speaking for the original release. But the original release had a lot of things that kept it from becoming a great hack and slash, and in the end it's just it's hard to say. It's hard. It definitely gets better as when you start unlocking more moves, but during that, when you're first playing that game, you do not have a lot to work with, and you are very limited, and it does... Ninja Theory were not good at making a fun-to-play hack and slash.
That's funny. Well...
And it's just the problem is that I have to say DMC2 is worse because it was a game that was made in, no time at all.
But is it worse? Because that had no effort put into it. But DMC had a lot of effort put into it. Would you rather... Which is worse? Somebody who put their half-ass into something and it ended up being bad? Or somebody put their full ass into something and it was still really bad?
Somebody put their full ass. Because I was playing... a good couple days ago, me, Joe, and Logan got together.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I have to show you guys this. And, Joe tried playing it. He was like, I can't do this. So the playing was left to me. But it was fine because this game is, at the very least, unintentionally hilarious. They tried their hardest to make their new Dante one of the most unlikable characters in the history of video games. Not even a fun, unlikable guy. Just, he's just... the game is just hilarious. And the game is so mean... it is so mean-spirited. It's hilarious. There's a line where these guys are, the whole plot of DMC, the DMC, is that, demons are, demons are in charge of the world, and only a select few people are woke to the... or only a few select people have awoken to fight the demons. And there's a line where a character is we have all kinds of intel on demons and their collaborators, bankers, politicians, pop stars. And it's oh, you like pop music? You sheep. And then there's a scene where a character is drinking soda, and it's the number one soda in the world, actually a tool by demons to keep you complacent. And it's the game is just punching you in the face and beating you over the head with a brick the entire time.
Oh,
and it's oh my god.
That's hilarious. But you and I was thinking about the other day, we were talking, let's get back to Lost Media here a bit, is finding out that there were whole other versions of albums. Okay, we all know that Chinese Democracy from Guns N' Roses, the final version that we got, they'd been working on that for 10 years. And they've done several different versions of that album before that one even got to that point. So somewhere out there is full other albums with different people playing on instruments before the final group that you got. There is a Van Halen album that they did with another guy, not David Lee Roth, not Sammy Hagar, and not Gary Sharon. There's a fourth guy they did an album with, and they just shit canned because it didn't sound right. Same way with
That's why I love listening to like demo or like alternate versions of songs, because it's like seeing how like it's kind of cool seeing like the creative. You can listen to the creative process of like how this one song started becoming another song.
Well, that's like knowing full well that Kill 'Em All from Metallica, it's got Dave Mustaine on it, and not Kirk Hammett. Because they had an album done, from what I understand, before Kirk Hammett joined the band. So actually, it's supposed to be Dave Mustaine on that first album, but I know he is on the demo. But then I was told recently that Metallica, Anthrax's Worship Music had a completely different lead singer than Joey on it, and they're like, okay, this doesn't sound right. So they scrapped that and brought in. They finally mended fences with Joey, brought him in on it, and then he killed it on that entire album. So there is a version of that out there somewhere that has another lead singer on it. So you're like, I wonder what that sounds like.
Yeah, like an example I would say is Clutch's Basket of Eggs. Like hearing, I'm very specifically talking about. I think it's called like Boxcar.
It's Cattle Car.
Cattle Car, yeah.
Yeah.
And hearing that, and then it's it uses the same riff and melody as Cypress Grove.
Yeah.
On the full album, and it's you can kind of they use like one-way ticket, two-way track. And they use that lyric in Cattle Car, and then they also use that lyric in Cypress Grove, because it's like you can tell that was something that they really liked.
They're like,
we got to keep that line.
They're like, we got to. Well, that's like listening to Metallica's Four Horsemen, and then listening to Megadeth's Mechanic, because it's the exact same music, different lyrics. Because Dave Mustaine wrote the music, so he had the rights to the music. And the other guys helped write the lyrics, so that was 50-50, so they split it. So there's the exact same riffs, everything, two different songs. But at least with Clutch, it's all the same band. It's the same band, just different versions of the same song. Well, I can't even say the same song, because I actually like Cattle Car. I like Cypress Grove, but I love Cattle Car. So, but oh my god. So I was looking up music a while back. Even that, I didn't realize how many lost albums there were. Stuff that was put out once that no one's ever. It was like out on 8-track and cassette, not even cassette, like 8-track and vinyl. That was it. It's never been.
You might need to look through your old 8-track collection. Maybe.
I don't even. You know what? I own like 4 8-tracks. That's like the only thing I have that I don't have a whole lot of. I've got.
Maybe look through your old cassette collection.
No, I do have I have a really good sized cassette collection. Everybody's like, I sell off some of them. Stuff I have like duplicates and triplicates of, I'll sell off.
You gotta start looking through there. Look at what's missing, and look through your cassettes. You might have some history on your hands.
Well, up until recently, I had a copy of. I still got it, but it was hard to find. But I had White Zombies Make Them Die Slowly, which was their album they put out before Le Sexorcisto. So, and it sounds weird. It's okay. And then there's more albums before that, like demos and stuff. But I had that. I was going through my cassettes the other day and found a bunch of demos for local guys and stuff like that. It's just weird hearing bands before they became big. But that's like somebody was making fun of me. We were sitting there talking about why I like outdated media. Somebody was making fun. I was like, literally, I have 8mm. I'm trying to get 16mm projector and movies. I have 8mm projectors and movies. Of course, I have my VHS. I still have some beta floating around, but I don't have a beta player anymore. My beta gave out. And now I have my Laserdisc player up and going. I have a few Laserdiscs. Of course, I have DVD, got Blu-ray. I even got some HD DVDs floating around. That horrible media, and the thing is it's not a bad media. It's pretty much exactly the same as Blu-ray. It's just Blu-ray was owned by Sony, and HD DVDs just didn't catch on. It's kind of the same thing that happened with Laserdiscs. I mean,
it just didn't catch on.
No, but the thing is the quality was so good on Laserdiscs at the time. They just had to be flipped because the compression rate, they didn't have much compression rate where they did on laser. Because actually, when
I love like Laserdisc, rips from stuff. Like sometimes they'll upload on YouTube. There was it freaking got blocked here in the U.S. But on YouTube, there was like a Laserdisc rip of the original Japanese Dragon Ball Z opening. And it looked so good. It looked like better than some DVD releases.
Well, see, that was the thing is at one point, because you had to compress, it was the compression rate to be able to fit the information onto a DVD, and a compression to run onto a Laserdisc, and it wasn't there. So your better sound and your better video early on was on Laserdisc than the DVD. Oh, I forgot what else I have. I have a RCA Spectravision, with the giant disc cartridges. I own one of those with disc cartridges.
Oh, baby.
So ain't nothing, but I gotta fix that one. That one doesn't work right. I gotta figure out why.
It's like, when you own all this stuff, you're preserving a lot of history that a lot of people just kind of throw away.
Well, that's like right now, I've got people bringing me some videotapes and stuff of television shows that they recorded back in the day, and I want to digitize all that, or at least run it to CD so I have or DVD so I have copies of it.
Run it through, upload it to the world, get it to a DVD.
Well, what was cool was a few years, like a year or so ago, this woman had ran, they said I can't remember how many, she had several VCRs, and she recorded everything on VHS tape. And she had something I can't remember how many thousands upon thousands of hours of television, and right now they're digitizing everything she recorded, because there's some of that stuff it's lost to the world because it was like newscasts or something like that. Well, a lot of stuff was never kept, so she has it, and they're running it, and I don't know what's going to happen there. It'd be nice if it would all be uploaded, but I know some of it's copyrighted, so I don't know how that's going to work. So I mean, I even
you know what, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
If it's copyrighted, who cares? You got to preserve that history.
They'll
fight it. They want to monetize it, but you got to fight that.
Oh,
you can't just let them. You got to preserve that history. Even these companies, I love that oxymoron. These companies, they want to protect their copyright, but they don't want to preserve that history of the copyright.
That's what kills me right now about the Lucasfilms and the original Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying everything they can that the original versions of Star Wars that I grew up on, the ones that came out before, when
all the recuts,
and the 97
and special
editions and stuff like that. I still have my old VHS tapes. I bust them out every once in a while, and I watch the original Star Wars, and I'm always trying to find them on Laserdisc. I have Laserdisc Star Wars, but it's literally the special editions which suck. But I own the Star Wars.
You should watch that fan recut that is just it's trying its darndest to be the OG
Yeah, and the thing is that I guess you can download those for free because if you own a copy of Star Wars, it's fine to have a backup, and that's technically your backup copy. So,
I don't know. I if Disney tries to pull anything on you, you're just like, look at all the Star Wars I have.
I don't even have all the Star Wars shit I used to have. I had thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of Star Wars shit. And then I got mad and sold it all. Now I have like just about $1,000. I don't know how much shit I got. I got a lot, but I don't have as much as nowhere near what I used to. So I don't know. There's trying to find it and trying to save as much as you can is fun. Like I said, one of my favorite horror movies is Michael Mann's The Keep. I love both the movie and the book, even though they're two vastly different things. It's stupid. That's like I love the movie Omega Man. And one of my favorite books of all time is I Am Legend. Yes, Omega Man is based on I Am Legend, but that's a completely fucking different book. It's a completely different beast.
Hey, I'm pretty sure every
adaptation
version of I Am Legend is just like off.
Oh, I know.
From Will Smith to Vincent Price
to Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston.
Everybody loves being the last man on Earth.
But the what was great is that I try to find the copies anytime I can on VHS, or like I said, I'm still trying to find The Keep on Laserdisc too. Always on the lookout. I'm always trying to find it.
If any of you out there got a
if you got a copy of the Keep on Laserdisc, please send it to me, care of Paul Lee at RU Game at 124 North Sunset Drive, Pickle, Ohio 45356. I will gladly accept it. I will take any DVDs, VHS, Laserdisc, anything you can send me that will help me try to save stuff. I will appreciate it. That's like, okay, what was depressing is finding out like how much like lost stuff like there's tons and tons of episodes of the original Doctor Who that's lost. But what's great is they're slowly piecing it back together through people who had early VCRs and TV stations that had a VHS copy, so they're slowly piecing those together, and
they're gonna re-release
they're going to fix them, and
cool.
they're going to put them back out for so they can wedge them into the series. I mean, I grew up. Luckily, the Doctor Who that I grew up on there's nothing really missing in that time period.
You grew up with Tom Baker.
I grew up with Tom Baker, yeah. Tom Baker was the doctor when I was a kid. I didn't know there was another doctor until one day I went to work. I missed a week because I used to come home and watch Doctor Who on PBS on late night Saturday night when it had a British block, or the Brit block, or whatever they called it back then. And it was... I left... and it was Tom Baker, and I missed like 2 weeks, and then I came home to watch it, and I turned it on, and I'm like, hey, who the hell is this dude? Why are they calling him the Doctor? What the hell happened? And then I found out, I like looked into Doctor Who, and I was like, oh, he turns into other people. Okay, all right.
I'll be honest, that is a genius way to write in recasts.
I love the whole theory that freaking they go into the whole Time Lord stuff, like James Bond is a Time Lord. That's why he keeps changing his face. He just regenerates and becomes a new guy. But yeah, I mean, that's brilliant. Our actor wants out, or he wants to retire. All right, bring in a new guy. He's the new Doctor, or she's the new Doctor, according to that. And
Dad, you might piss off the Chuds.
They're
gonna start coming out of the sewers.
Okay. Current Doctor, I don't dislike it. It feels weird, and it doesn't feel like Doctor Who. But the theory is that this isn't. This is like a parallel world, alternate universe type deal. So I'm like, okay, well, that's my whole theory on why this. And it's not bad, but it's not. It's literally the worst that we've got going so far. So
I know. I think. What
But
do you consider to be the worst era of Doctor Who?
what's the worst era of Doctor Who? Oh my god. Was never a big fan of Colin Baker. Never a fan of the Sixth Doctor. I had to think of that one there for a second.
I know Colin. I think that's the one who was purposefully written. Like that was when they were trying to kill Doctor Who.
Yeah, they made him an asshole.
Yeah,
He's a dick.
He's a coward and a dick.
Yeah, it's just doesn't fit.
Like
And
they purposefully wrote him to be awful. A lot of it was like, it was this loop of BBC was embarrassed by Doctor Who because it's low budget, so they didn't give it any budget.
Yeah, they're like, the budgetary restraints of this show just make it look horrible. So what are we gonna do? We'll cut the budget.
And everything they did during that time period was trying to kill the show, and that led to the great Doctor Who hiatus.
Yeah, well, then we got, it was hiatus. Then we came back and we got the Sylvester McCoy, which is, I don't mind Sylvester McCoy. I don't think he had the run that he should have got. The one I think should have got a run was Paul McGann. He got screwed. He got that one movie that was just not good. But then he comes back and does like the little one-offs and stuff, and does stuff for
The big crossovers.
He shows up and does like the little one, and you're like, what? That's good. Why didn't he get a chance? Give him a chance.
I grew up with 9th Doctor, 10th Doctor.
Yeah, you grew up with Tennant and Smith and Capaldi. And
Speaking of Capaldi, I got to bring up this story because it's been a long time since I got to tell this story. You remember that one movie where freaking 9th Doctor was the main bad guy of the movie, and it was like this the whole plot is that the 7th son of the 7th son was like chosen one kind of deal.
Yeah.
And we were in the theater, and I'm like 10 or something.
Oh
watching this movie.
Was it Legend of the Seeker?
Something like that.
Yeah, because he turns into a
one of the bad guys. There's a security guard, and he turns out to be an evil demon man, and he turns into a bunch of crows. And I look over and whisper to my dad, "I'm just a bunch of crows in a man costume."
Oh my!
And after the movie was done, like I find out that Dad was like trying so hard not to laugh.
Well, that's because that was funny. I'm just a bunch of crows in a man costume. Oh man! What sucks is that I was sitting there.
I never knew where that story came from.
What
Why that was a thing.
Yeah. Well, that's because it came before. There's a whole. I'm just a bunch of crows in a man costume. That came from another cartoon.
They came from Robot Chicken,
Robot
the gag, where it was like, I'm just 3 ducks in a man costume.
Yeah.
It came from that, and I loved that part in the movie because I was just like, this is it. This is my chance to be a comedic genius.
Well, what's great is I'm sitting here the other day and I was rewatching Lair of the White Worm, the movie with Hugh Grant in it, and he has to fight this vampire snake demoness chick, and the young college intern guy comes to help them, and that man is a 30-some-year-old Peter Capaldi playing a young college student. Oh my god, Peter Capaldi's great though. And people give him so much shit as the Doctor. I loved him as the Doctor because he was the old curmudgeon, just grumpy ass old man that had to take his kids on vacation. That's what he always felt like. So
you heard it here, folks.
You heard it here. Tina liked Peter Capaldi's Doctor Who. I did too. And the thing is,
I'm gonna get a glass of milk.
The BBC knocked it out of the ballpark when they brought back Doctor Who with Christopher Eccleston, and then they really got it with Tennant and Smith and
I get into the Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, you got into it with Tennant.
I started watching it at the end of that when Tennant came in, and that's where I really started liking it.
Yeah, but Yeah, I mean, I got you watching it because you had to sit there and watch it with me.
Yeah, not by choice.
Not by choice. Nothing Tina watches is by choice for the most part. I am the stereotypical man that was like, it's time, my TV, my control. I get to watch TV, and I don't do it on purpose.
Yes, you do. Shut up.
I don't. That's like when I go to other people's houses and I don't realize I take over their TV.
Yeah, I've had to take the remote away from you. I don't even want to.
But I don't realize.
Tell you no.
I know.
Was there ever an official at-home release of the Minutemen? The Minuteman?
Yeah. I got it in there.
Oh.
Boxed up, yeah.
I was about to say, 'cause
Minuteman.
I was drinking milk and then I thought of the Minuteman.
Oh
which
my
is
God,
an amazing
the
show.
Minuteman.
Middleman.
The
Middleman.
Middleman. What did I say? Minuteman. The middleman.
I said Minuteman.
Got me started with that. Oh my God. Now I feel
Middleman.
like an idiot. That's like.
I got to correct you.
That's
I never-
that's legit. I love that show. I watch it. I watch that full series about once a year, from beginning to end.
I read, we got the graphic novel, we got the show, we
Yeah.
got the graphic novel that ended the show. That was the end of
well,
the show.
what's cool is I did get to go and talk to the cast, most of the cast from Middleman. Natalie Morales, who plays Dub Dub, is hilarious. Oh my God. Just, they were a bunch of really just nice people. I'm like, they were all friendly. They were just glad, I think, to be signing autographs because there just wasn't really anybody over there. I was at C2E2 one year, and they were just kind of sitting there off by themselves.
Middleman was like on ABC. It was
Family. ABC Family. They weren't even on regular ABC.
They were like a weird channel.
Yeah.
It was in a more kind of an obscure graphic novel they were adapting.
It's what's now is Freeform. That's what they used to be on before it became Freeform. So yeah, it's fun. Oh my God.
But yeah, if you watch The Middleman and were disappointed by the fact that it just ended, find the graphic novel that they put out.
There's a graphic novel that ties everything up. It's written by the original creator of the book. That show got unfairly canceled. I think that show was about 2 or 3 years ahead of its time. I think if it would have come out later, it would have been bigger.
It would have been huge.
Yeah, if I think right, if it would have came
and
out,
also if it wasn't on ABC Family.
oh, if it wouldn't have been on some weird ass channel that nobody watched or even knew it was on. Although NBC had Constantine, and look what they did with that. So that should have been on CW. And that's depressing. We won't talk about that. But
I'm glad the guy who played Constantine still gets to do voice work for Constantine.
But he's also Constantine on. He was Constantine on Arrow. He's Constantine on Legends of Tomorrow, and he's Constantine on all the Disney and the DC animated movies.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He was Constantine in like Justice League Dark.
Yep, and he was Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, which I finally just got around to the other day, which is freaking awesome.
Is brutal
as shit. But
I love that DC has slowly just started becoming like, just kill him. Like the DC of old was like, DC versus, for Mortal Kombat versus DC. They're like, you're not allowed to, have our game be gory. And now we got stuff like Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, and it's just like, tear them in half, blow a hole through them. We don't freaking care.
Oh man, it's great. That's like that's because DC is now embracing with the Black Label line that they're putting out with the really kind of dark, mature stuff. It's great because we're getting 3 Jokers where we find out that there are 3 Jokers, and that's why
3 Jehokas.
Jehokas, yes. And we're getting way off topic on this one, but oh man, but. Also, if anybody has a copy of The Hypnotist from back in the day, the old silent movie The Hypnotist, which is London After Midnight, which if somebody finds that, that'll be awesome, because that is a total lost movie. The only thing that exists out of that are stills and a couple minutes of footage.
It's probably in a barn somewhere in Columbus.
Supposedly, a few years ago, they found a copy of it. And they've been restoring it, but I guess it might be too far gone to restore most of it. but they found it in an abandoned theater, and they found a box that said "The Hypnotist" on the cans, and they're like, "Oh!" And they start looking at it, and that's what it was London After Midnight. But the only shit part about it is that old film stock was made of silver nitrate, and it deteriorates real bad, and that's why they get vinegar syndrome, which is what the one production company's named after. It's the disintegration of movie stock.
Mm-hmm.
And it was highly flammable too, because that shit, you'd like throw a lighter, like a match in it, and go up like a can of gasoline. It's crazy how flammable that shit was, and that's why a lot of that shit's gone, because there was the big MGM fire back in the day that took out a ton of stuff, like the jitterbug scene from Wizard of Oz. That the only thing is some of the 8mm family, like the old school handheld camera caught footage of them doing it, but there's no actual footage of that exists. So
Jitterbug.
Yeah, none of that one.
Jitterbug.
Dude. Oh man, what was that's like recently, was it a couple years ago, they found the lost footage from 2001. And your mom goes, "Wow, even more movie that I don't want to watch because it's boring."
I will admit, 2001, you got to be in the right mood to watch, because if it is a lot of man floating in space.
I can see it being a hard watch. It can be a real hard watch.
Man floats in space.
Yeah,
a lot of shots of that man floating away in space. All right, Kubrick, I get it. He's floating away in space. I get it.
I watched a documentary on that movie a while back.
In a very monotone speaking.
I can't allow you to do that, Dave. Yeah, I love Hal.
Hal's cool.
Hal's great. There's a computer that decides, ooh, hey, you know what?
Mom, without Hal, we wouldn't have GLaDOS from Portal. Think about that.
I understand that.
And we also wouldn't have Siri. We wouldn't have.
It doesn't make the movie any less boring.
And then I rewatched 2010, and your mom's like, "Oh my God, are you watching this one too? This one's just as boring." Oh my God, gotta love. See, what's bad is that I can watch movies like that over and over again, but I cannot suffer through Titanic one more time. So
We only ever watched it once.
What?
Titanic.
Yeah.
Didn't need to watch it again.
No, that was a good one and done. One and done. That's like I was able to watch one of the Twilight movies, but the only way I was able to watch one of the Twilight movies was with the riff track on it. So basically
I couldn't even do it that way.
Oh my.
Get more than halfway through it.
It's painful to watch. I don't know how anybody watched 5 movies.
Twilight is just like, it gets weird. Like, you think about it, it gets weird.
Oh, dude.
Like,
it's all about
Edward is not a good guy in the slightest.
It's all about a girl's decision to try to find out which is the least worst, necrophilia or bestiality.
Well, everybody, jokes, but.
And oh my God.
Bella's like legitimately a teenager. Edward's like hundreds of years old. It's like, what are you doing, Edward? What are you doing?
The fact that he just keeps going back, that's what makes it even worse, is that he keeps going back to high school over and over and over again. He's a groomer pedophile is what he is. It gets
Disturbing.
What?
It's pretty disturbing.
It is. It's fucked up when you really look into it.
But at least
Why can't this be lost media? Why can't we just lose Twilight and never be found again?
One thing I gotta respect, though, Stephanie, whatever her last name is that she made Twilight, she wrote some other stuff, and just disappeared off the face of the earth.
She's like, I'm rich. Fucking drop the mic. I'm out, bitch.
J.K. Rowling is sitting around saying stupid shit.
J.K. Rowling
just
need to shut the fuck up and go away. Just need to go away when she was at the peak, she needed to be like, oh yeah, J.K. Rowling's an upstanding member of the community. And then she like opens her mouth and everybody's like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Aww. Nah, we're screwed.
And the worst part is, I think the worst part is that J.K. Rowling slowly revealing herself kind of recontextualizes a lot of Harry Potter that makes you go, oh, she was always, oh, it was always, oh, God, oh, this sucks. Oh, it really sucks.
It's painful.
Everybody is a terrible person.
Everybody, pretty much.
If you have an idol, there's going to be something about them that makes them terrible.
Like I said, I asked Mark Ward that one time because he met Kurt Russell, and I was like, "Is Kurt Russell cool? But if he isn't, don't tell me, because I don't have it in me to find out that Kurt Russell's an asshole." I would make me sad, it'd make me hurt inside to find out Kurt Russell's an asshole. But oh my god,
he said, Kurt
Russell's cool. Kurt Russell's cool. I'm like, I love him talking about meeting Nick Cage, though. He goes, Nick Cage is crazy. I'm like, I met Nick Cage at a con once, kind of in passing. Yeah, he's a nutcase.
Does that surprise anybody?
No.
Nick Cage is like, he got big, and then he spent all of his money. And that's why he's always acting in these really bad movies, is because he needs to earn money again.
Well, what's great is that me and your mom went and found his tomb. His tomb is in the cemetery we went to in New Orleans.
Yeah, he's got
a big
plot mark.
He's got a giant pyramid in the middle of a.
He wants to recapture that national treasure of fame he had in life.
See, I felt like I should explore that because the Declaration of Independence is in that tomb. Oh my god, no, we're way off topic tonight. We keep going back, but then we keep going on these tangents on craziness.
That's why people like this podcast, though. Because of our crazy tangents.
And it's funny because I'm not gonna lie, we got people who contact me and they're like, I love listening to you, but I feel like I'm part of the conversation and I want to chime in, but I can't because I'm listening to you on my iPod or on my phone. I was like, one of these days, I got the ability to do live episodes. And one of these days, I want to do a completely live episode where people can call me, and
I don't know why you keep trying to suck me into this.
I'm totally sucking you into this because we're staring at you over there across the room. We're giving Tina
it's
shit.
Family business, baby.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Tina's over there.
I'm here trying to watch Super Troopers.
Watching Super Troopers. Yeah, this is the first one. Super Troopers is great. So
I will go out and say the best part of Twilight is the dad's mustache. The funniest part of Twilight.
You know the depressing part is of the Twilight movies? I love 30 Days of Night. 30 Days of Night, I think, is one of the best modern vampire movies out there. It changed the genre. It's awesome. And then I found out the guy who directed it, David Slade, directed Twilight movies after he directed 30 Days of Night. So he made one of the best free. Yeah, you see, that's like, hey, okay. You know
if the
what?
Money's good,
I guess,
gotta make a living.
You know what? I worked for decades for people I didn't like, doing jobs I hated for a paycheck. So I get it. I did not want to
get revolutionized vampire movies. Also, revolutionized vampire movies.
He's like, I'm gonna take everything cool about these vampires and I'm gonna shit on them in this movie. Ha! Fuck it, I'm getting paid. Because I'm getting Twilight money, motherfuckers.
oh my god! Have you heard? Robert Rodriguez is working on like a superhero thing, and he's gonna bring back Shark Boy and Lava Girl, baby.
Oh my god, we need a gritty reboot of Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
He's bringing them back as like adult parents now with a kid.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
They got together, and now they have a kid who has shark and lava powers. It's incredible.
You go ahead. See, that's awesome because then that needs.
But like, how they like the whole plot of that movie is that they were in like a weird dream realm from the kid. Mm-hmm. Like that, the whole Shark Boy and Lava Girl's weird.
Well, that's like
there's like what, George Lopez.
No.
And he's like a teacher, but he's also like the big bad, and he's like there's this bully,
dude,
and he ruined my dream journal.
Go watch the freaking Spy Kids movies.
Those are also really weird.
They're super weird, man.
The Spy Kids movies brought us one of the greatest lines of all time, where it's like, do you think even God stays in heaven because he too fears what he created?
And that's in a kids movie. No, what I think's great.
No wonder I grew up so weird.
It's canonically acknowledged that Machete, Danny Trejo from the Machete movies, is the same Machete in Spy Kids. The same guy is in this movie. Yes, it's the same Machete.
Man, Danny Trejo is like real life a cool guy.
Yeah.
Like he's honestly like someone that I have no qualms looking up to. Like
he's a guy who took himself out of like a shithole and horrible place and made something of himself. And I
he's like, even if he's in a bad movie, he's making he is having a grand time.
He loves being. He's just like, I'm acting, ha.
I'm in a movie.
We were talking about that.
Everybody loves me.
We were talking about actors a while back too, who even if they're still great, even in bad movies. So, I say that Ewan McGregor is that way. Idris Elba is that way. Those guys could be in the shittiest movies, and they're the best part of a shitty movie.
Ewan McGregor has just a insane level of charisma. That's why everybody loved him as Obi-Wan.
Oh, he's great as Obi-Wan.
He's just so natural. Like,
okay, that's like
he alone elevates those the prequels.
Well, okay,
the prequels aren't great, but
Christopher Lee did a pretty good job as Count Dooku, but that's Christopher Lee. But
Christopher Lee can elevate.
Oh yeah, Christopher Lee is great in everything he's ever been in. So, because he's Christopher Lee, and he's awesome. Ewan McGregor was the best part of the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn movie as Black Mask.
He was pretty great.
Because Ewan McGregor's great, and he's fun. And that's like, okay, the Gunslinger movie with Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba. Idris Elba was good in that. Idris Elba was good in Prometheus. Idris Elba was even good in the Hobbs and Shaw movie because that was fucking ridiculous, but it was fun.
It's like you say, the Need for Speed movies aren't meant to
not
be good
Need for
movies.
Speed, Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious movies are not made to be movies that are celebrated for their cinematography or anything. They're just popcorn movies.
And they're stupid fun.
They're stupid fun movies that have to have... the physics don't work. Nothing works like that should in that movie. It's just...
Going back and watching that first movie is legitimately good.
Yeah.
That first movie is legitimately good. It's
I cringe at some of the movies when they keep wrecking the Chargers and the AMX, and they wreck the Grand National, and they wreck like, oh, why are you doing? I know they're kit cars. I get it. They're clones. They're not really that car. But it's like, oh, it's painful. It does. It hurts a lot. That's like rewatching. I just went back and watched the first 4 Phantasm movies, and watching them when they wreck the CUDA, and you're just like, oh, why are you doing this to me?
Genre of car movie we need to bring back? The real old, like stuff like Bullet, the muscle car, dude. Like 70s, like
oh man,
funky bass going ham.
I wish, you know what we need to bring back? Cannonball Run movies. But you've never seen Cannonball Run.
Nope.
Cannonball Run was Burt Reynolds at his most Burt Reynoldist ever. He's what it is it's based on the Cannonball and the Gumball Rally, which is from New York to California, and you see how fast you can get across country in a short amount of time. Well, back in the day, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was out and out, whatever. But they've kind of cleaned it up a bit, I guess. But yeah, they poke fun at that because it's one of the big, super ensemble casts back in the day. It's Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, Jamie Farr, Farrah Fawcett, Mel Tillis,
Who's who
Terry
of
Brad. Yeah,
that era.
dude. Yeah, it was definitely a product of its era, and I think it'd be hilarious to do it now, to bring all these like mid-level stars and put them in a race across the country movie, and it would just be fun. But no, we need
Make a Twisted Metal movie and do it that way.
Yeah, that'd be awesome though. What you were saying, bring back the old car movie. You know
what? Like I love the Need for Speed movies, but there's a
Need for Speed, Fast and Furious.
Indeed.
Need for Speed movie was horrible.
Fast and the Furious.
Fast and Furious was.
We need like one of the things I love about the old movies is
that was really them driving those cars.
Yeah, like
the original Gone in 60 Seconds movies. Those were great.
Like I want there's like you can tell they're real because there's like these little moments of like I guess you could say like imperfections. Like they'll clip a sign, or you'll see the car like clip something when it ramps over something.
Or you watch the hubcaps, like they take a corner so hard the hubcap goes flying off to the air, and then next thing you know they got a hubcap back on the car. Or they take a corner and they hit something, and then in a later scene there's no dent in the side of the car because it's all filmed differently. Or they jump something so big that when it lands, like the stuntman has an impacted spine.
Well, it's like that's what I love about you remember the old driver games on the PS1?
Yeah.
There's a fan game I got called the Driver Syndicate, and what it is it's a fan remake of Driver 1 and 2 on PC. And they even got Alistair Brimble, the guy who did the soundtracks for Driver 1 and 2, to remake the original soundtracks in HD and put them in the game.
It's kind of badass.
And I'm playing it with the Xbox controller. I turned off analog support, D-pad only, to get that true PS1 driver experience. And it just feels so good. It feels like having them old car, driving around these old muscle cars.
I am
these old 70s muscle cars and just flying by cops.
If anybody knows me, that they know I'm an old school muscle car guy. I love old, fast, carbureted V8
stuff that Mad Max would drive.
I don't like modern cars. It's funny because I am a curmudgeon, and everybody makes fun of me because as things people love, I'm like, rah, rah, rah. I don't care if I ever own a new car. Literally the car I drive every day is a 98 Mercury Grand Marquis. I do have a 2007 minivan, which is left over from your mom, and I just drive that to haul stuff around in. I got my Camaro out there, and that's about road ready. And my goal is I don't want to own a new car. I don't like new cars. I don't like as long as it has a stereo in it and I can drive it legally on the road, I am totally fine with that. I'm just not that, but I'm also the guy that I don't like amusement parks, and I don't much care for ice cream. So because I'm weird like that. So.
I grew up around, my papaw grew up around. Actually, all my grandpas love the muscle cars.
Yes, what they all do. And I was a kid. When I was a kid, I did not want to work on cars. I hated working on cars. And what was I doing Thursday afternoon? Sitting outside fiddling with my car because I like doing it. I like screwing around with my cars now, and once I get the beast back up and running, he runs. I need to do a couple of things to it. That car is probably a lot faster than it needs to be, but I want it to go a little bit faster.
Will you ever need to go that fast? Probably not. But you want the option.
Hey, I bought that car. The speedometer goes that far. I paid for all that speedometer. I'm going to use it. And every car up until the one I currently drive, I've had needled out at one point or another. Oh, I can't needle out because your mom's car's got digital, so that don't fucking work. So,
but you like Memo's car. because she's got a speedometer and a digital.
Yeah, well, your mom's got a speedometer, you know. Yeah, but technically, I guess the digital part doesn't needle out, so that doesn't count. I had a Thunderbird back in the day that had digital, and I didn't like that. I don't like it. I like it being able to see the speedometer bounce when you go so fast. as I give away too much shit in the past, but no, we are seriously off topic now. I guess we can go on.
We're getting late.
We
too.
can, yeah.
We're off topic and late.
It is. We're at 75 minutes. So we're gonna get this. We're gonna go ahead and tie this one up tonight because we're way off subject. But like I said, if anybody has any lost media, if you have old laser discs, some old 16 millimeter film, 8 millimeter film, contact me. If you want to donate it to the cause, donate it to the cause. We're trying to save this stuff because you never know what's going to be lost in the future.
Upload it. Send it.
Yeah.
Send it. Get it transferred. Do whatever you can to save this stuff. Make sure that it is not lost media.
Remember, contact us at Group Therapy TV on Facebook. Contact us at RU Game on Facebook. And you can contact me through emails at rugame2011@gmail.com. Or you can swing by my shop, RU Game.
Sure to wear a mask.
Yeah, we got to wear a mask now. Which is, I guess I've been waiting for this my entire life. We don't wear masks, but maybe I'll wear the Power Ranger helmet tomorrow. I don't know.
You should wear your gas mask, man.
It's packed away.
Oh.
I'd have to go find it. But yeah, I thought about doing that just because I'm going to freak people out at like Kroger's, walk around with a gas mask on. So, all right. Well, this is Paul.
This is Brandon.
And we're saying goodnight and see you all next week.